On the next all-new episode of Ninja Kamui.
A perfected version of the Kusoku gear. A Mikado.
That man didn't understand how to wield power properly. All of it should exist in the service of our great cause. We have no emotion, no ego. We are hollow.
Ninja Kamui. Next Saturday night at midnight on Toonami. Next day on Max. On the next all-new episode of Zone 100.
There's suits specifically designed to protect your body from any kind of shark bite. Even great whites can't bite through it. As long as I wear this suit, I'm invulnerable to zombie bites. With this, I'm an invincible superhero.
You got the look down, that's for sure, man.
Zone 100. Bucket List of the Dead. Next Saturday at 12:30. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Hello everyone, welcome to our episode of Toonami Therapy. It's April 16th of 2024. I'm Michael.
I'm Tommy.
And this is our podcast where we talk about anime, other things we've been watching, and sometimes Toonami. Yes. So, as usual, we'll begin with those. Oh, but we had the news. After spending the last few podcasts wondering, so what's going to be the Lycoris Recoil episode, replacement, and speculating on some things. Well, it's just another One Piece episode.
So it'll feel like one episode, maybe, with two episodes back to back.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think 2 episodes ago I spent a bunch of time thinking and speculating. I'm thinking, how did I never even think to suggest a second One Piece episode? That should have been my number one guess. Like, okay, here's my guess. What will replace Ninja Kamui? A third One Piece episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they do that, they're going to kill the block.
We'll see. Maybe we will finally get the Uzumaki thing. I mean, I'm going to assume My Hero Academia is coming in a few months. The new season is coming. I'm going to guess, and they did have the previous one, so I'm going to guess they have some kind of agreement that lets them get them because they aired them before, but I don't know how far behind the airing, or for that matter, the dubbing it would be. I don't. For all I know, it'll be a same day simul dub. They do have some of those. There's a
like Space Dandy.
Well, no. I wasn't talking about Toonami. I'm sure Toonami will be later. I was talking about like Crunchyroll.
Okay.
When they were airing it, they do that for a few series now. Like, there's at least Kaiju number 8, and I think there is at least one other series. Was it God's Games We Play? I think that also had a same day simul dub, which, although from the first episode of that I didn't think it was very good, so I guess they just go with what they can get. But Kaiju number 8 is the big one, but I don't know, maybe we'll watch it, maybe we won't. We should be getting to the Toonami stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got Ninja Kamui episode 10. Alright, so let's see. We basically get a big flashback about one of the other guys, the one of the bad guys, and because he knew Higan when they were like ninjas, and there's a bunch of stuff there. So yeah, we get his backstory, I guess. Our main characters have been framed as being eco-terrorists for targeting power plants. FBI guy Mike is trying to, get the actual information out, and he tries to get, I think, his boss to do it, but then finds out, oh no, they're crooked, so there's that. And then then there's a fight with Higan and the guy from the flashback. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's everything I remember offhand.
Yeah. I just kept thinking during this episode, this all started in a cornfield in Nebraska, and it's now this. And I'm like, how did we get here? I'm so confused.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's a good point, because it wasn't just that we started with that. It's that we also had, ninjas doing ninja things. Not like Naruto ninja, but, like fighting and stuff. And then at some point it turned into them getting into like special technology armor and fighting and things. It not exactly a mech series, but something more small. Getting into Iron Man like outfits, basically. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it ends. We've still got 2 episodes left. And I'll maybe give some final thoughts on it then. So, all right. Then we've got Zom 100 Episode 3. So, our main character, Akira, decides to contact a friend of his who is, stuck in this place because of a bunch of zombies around there. But Akira shows up and is able to distract the zombies and try to rescue his friend. They end up having to jump from one rooftop to the other, and it's a really long jump, but Akira makes it. His friend has to be coaxed into it, but because he doesn't think he can make it, even though there's really no other way out, and there's a bunch of zombies coming at him. But don't worry, the zombies take enough time to burst through the door that they are able to have a big, important character moment in which his friend admits, oh yeah, I bragged about my job, but I actually really hated it. And so we get that. Also, when he jumps over, he gets naked for some reason. I can't remember. Did we get an explanation for that, or what? Why did he?
No, it's just fan service.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Well, no, I mean, I know things are fan service, but was there an explanation in the episode itself? Like, there might be something that's fan service in an episode, but there's an explanation like, oh, why is the character's clothes all tattered? Because, they got slashed or whatever. Like in Star Wars Episode 2, where Nala's shirt just gets ripped to have her midriff exposed for the whole scene that causes apparently no real damage to her, despite it being strong enough to rip it off. Okay. So anyway, they do that, and they escape, and then they are going to, and then, maybe he took them off because he was worried they would weigh him down? I don't know. But anyway, so they managed to get away from the zombies, and then they're going to go out and do stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I'm at the point where I'm having a hard time keeping my sanity during these episodes, because nothing makes sense, and I just have to get to the point where I realize, okay, it's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be ridiculous. So, just gotta suspend my belief for the entire time, because it's totally crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Why does he want to be a stand-up comedian whenever, that's one of the many things that didn't make any sense. It's like, okay, he's going to be a stand-up comedian and the entire world is just zombies. So yeah, I understand to the point they're trying to make this humorous, but it just has to make a little more sense than this. and it's not making much sense to me. So, yeah, if we were doing the 3-episode rule, I'd be dropping it now. But it's on Toonami, so I don't have that choice. So.
Yes, I'm kind of realizing that one of the reasons I think whenever we do our sort of year-end lists where we kind of rank the stuff, usually stuff on Toonami ends up being kind of low simply because we usually just watch it to the end even if we don't like it. Where if anything else, if we don't like it, we're just like, okay, I guess we'll just drop it midway through.
Yeah.
So, yes. Now, well, the funny thing for me was that throughout so much of this, I was sure, okay, this guy, he's like the friend and he's going to die because he's not in the theme song. I saw the theme song. It shows the main characters and the other male characters like this guy with like blonde hair. So clearly this guy's going to die and that guy will be the main character. Oh, he survived. And then I looked at them more carefully like, oh no, wait, this is the same character. His hair is just a different color. I guess he dyes it at some point. But I will admit that did it made a little more suspense because I was completely sure he was going to die because of that. Okay, so yeah, I don't have anything more to say about that. Okay, I am just checking the episode to be sure. Yeah, he just takes his clothes off and I don't know why. He doesn't explain. I guess he was just trying to make a joke or something in a life or death situation, I guess. While he was literally in the process of, actually jumping. That was weird. So yeah, it wasn't explained even in the context of the show itself. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there we go. My question is, how you're not in the air that long. You don't have time to grab all your clothes off. Okay. So yeah, just for weird fan service, I guess. All right. Yep. So we've got that. Then we've got Lycoris Recoil, episode 13, the end, at least for now. So, let's see. So, Chisato and Majima are going against each other again, but Chisato starts having problems with her artificial heart. Takina does show up and manage first, because of that, they actually just talk for a while because, I don't know, I guess this is Majima's last chance to try to give an exposition of his motivation. Mm-hmm. Then they fight. Then ultimately, Takina is able to show up and save Chisato, but Majima gets away because I guess they need him around in case they ever make a sequel. Mm-hmm. So then, I can't remember his name. Remember how there's that guy who wanted to make Chisato kill him to get the heart from him because he was trying to make her kill him because she didn't kill and he wanted to blah 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 blah. Basically Chisato doesn't do it because another guy kills him instead. Mm-hmm. The older black guy does it. So
yeah.
Yep, in this anime, the black guy does not die first,
and
it's the other guy. Yeah,
and Chisato survives, mm-hmm. and apparently gets a new heart, mm-hmm. and then moves out to Hawaii, and then Takina comes to visit her in Hawaii, and then they open up a food truck. And then there's someone on there who says they can't speak English, which it's a joke that gets lost in translation, mm-hmm. as you told me. Mm-hmm. And
go ahead. I just wanted to briefly explain to any listeners. The character, I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. The kind of older female character who worked at cafe, who worked with at the restaurant. Basically, she was her explanation for why she didn't do customer service stuff is she said, I don't speak English. And in the Japanese, she says that in English. And then another person comes by and they're looking for Chisato. And then even though he's speaking, and the guy is trying to speak Japanese to her, and she just says again in English, I don't speak English. Which, that the dub, it obviously kind of did the best they could. They just kind of framed it like she was just making up that she couldn't speak English because she's speaking English in the dub. So, anyway, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to explain that quick.
Yeah. I thought it was a very good... If they didn't have that final scene in it, I don't think I would have liked the ending as much. But then that final scene kind of wrapped it up pretty good. So... I will give it credit. It went out on a high note, and I don't know. Is there going to be more Lycoris Recoil, or is this the end for it?
So about a year ago, they said that there was a new animated project for it, and that's all they said. And we haven't heard anything since then. So I don't know if that means it's been canceled or if it's just taking a while to make. I remember when they announced, hey, we're going to have the final season of Bleach, and then there was, I think, no news about it for 2 years. I just remember it was so long, people kind of making jokes about it. So that was quite a while. Let's see. Okay, it was not quite as long as that, but yeah, in November 2020, they announced that they were going to make a, well, okay. Here's what Wikipedia is telling me. In March 2020, they mentioned that it would receive an anime project. Didn't specify like more, just that it would get an anime project for the final arc. Then in November 2020, so, about 8 months later, they confirmed, yeah, it's going to be a television series adapting it. And then 1 year later, they put out an actual trailer and visual for it. And then it ended up premiering, 11 months after that. So yeah, it could take a while. But we don't know exactly what's coming. They just said animated project, which is just really vague. Is it going to be an OVA? Is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be another season? We don't know. But there's they announced there's something coming at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, I can't imagine they wouldn't have some kind of sequel. The anime was quite popular. Really, they had some spin-off light novels that sold well. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to get something eventually. When? I don't know. Sometimes they take a while for these things. And yes, I will totally agree that post-credit sequence, if you didn't have that, it would have been a much weaker ending.
Yeah.
So yes, that's basically it. Don't have too much else to say about it. Since this was our second watch through of it, I think on the whole I did not like it as much the second time around. I still liked it, but I feel like more parts of it felt unnecessary and like the series could have been done in a shorter amount of time. It felt a little stretched out, I guess, for the story we had. I think that's probably the biggest issue I look at it in retrospect.
Yeah. When did we watch this? 2022 or 2023?
I think it was 2022. Let me just take a quick double check on that. Let's see. We watched it in 2022.
Okay. Yeah, the first time around, I really liked it. Second time around, I still like it, but not as much. I think the main reason for that is just like the novelty of the show wore off on me. It's like, okay, I know what these people are doing, and I know that Shisato doesn't kill anyone, and I know that C can't get hit by bullets. Whereas when you watch it the first time around, you don't realize these things. So, yeah, there's some ways it wasn't as good the first time around, but it's still very high quality. So I don't know what I gave it on my anime list. Let me see. It was either a 7 or an 8. Yeah, 7. Yeah, so pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. And I'm glad Toonami, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, whoever took a chance on it and put it on air, because it was a little different from their usual stuff. So yeah, I'm happy they put it on. So I don't want to say anything bad, so then they say, okay, next time we're just going to give you another episode of One Piece for your enjoyment. So, which they are.
All right. So, yeah, that's it for our rewatch of Lycoris Recoil. I almost wonder if we should include it in our rankings for this year again. Mm. I guess we'll decide then. Probably not, though. All Maybe. Right. So, by the way, sorry if you can hear any noises in the background on my end. There's kind of some water running, and then there was, I think, some kind of alarm went off in the background. If you didn't hear any of that, then that's fine. Just wanted to explain it. Okay, so then you mentioned One Piece. Let's talk One Piece. One Piece episode 661. So let's see. We were going this. So basically, Law and Doflamingo are still fighting. Well, Doflamingo is the clear final boss of this arc, and Law isn't Luffy. So you can probably guess who ends up winning. It's Doflamingo.
Yep.
Yes. So anyway, we basically, beyond all of that, yes, we have the Straw Hats. They all meet together and they're talking about all that stuff. We find out some more things about. Did we get it last episode, or was it this episode, or was it just repeated in both? Well, the whole thing. People are being turned into toys, and people forget who they are. So we get that. We also have some stuff with Luffy, in which one of the guys is going to attack him, but then changes his mind, and then basically gets told by the person who told him to get rid of Luffy, yeah, we didn't think you'd actually do it anyway. And also, also Doflamingo shoots Law several times, and they make sure, and of course it's One Piece, so they pad that out by doing a bunch of slow motion with the shots. And normal, if it was anything other than, One Piece and its padding, you would think, oh, it's doing this to try to emphasize, oh man, he just killed Law, he's dead. We find out, I know this is a slight spoiler, but he's alive in the next episode, don't worry. So, I will give it credit. The episode name was A Showdown Between the Warlords, Law versus Doflamingo. And we did have them fight midway through the episode, not in the last 5 seconds.
Yep. And I noticed that Zoro in this show is a lot different from the Zoro in the live action. Like the Zoro in the live action is like this classic samurai stoic character, and Zoro in this episode is like, yeah, they don't resemble each other. So,
I think they definitely did kind of tone down his more comedic aspects. That kind of affected everyone in the live action, but of the Straw Hats, he got it the most. I do think they still got the essence of his character. They did include some of the things like his tendency to get lost and some other things, but yeah, he definitely was made a bit what was it I saw? I think I heard someone say they made Zoro too cool in the live action. Is what I saw a One Piece fan say.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yep.
Okay. So yes, that's One Piece. And then that's it for the stuff we watched on Toonami. Because did we watch Naruto? I don't think we watched Naruto.
No, I checked out before then.
Okay.
I think we tried to watch it the week before, and we made it like halfway through the episode, and then something went wrong with my feed, and I was like, okay, I have a choice. I can go and try to fix this, or I can just go to bed. I'm like, I'm just going to bed. So, yeah.
Okay. So, let's move on to the other things we've been watching. So, we've got Shangri-La Frontier episode 20. So, yeah, we get to Claire. It looked like it was going to be this in the previous, Saiger. I can never. Is it Saiger 0? Saiger? It's Saiger 100. It's so annoying. I get the numbers mixed up. They're different characters too. Let me just double check on that. Saiger 0, right? You know what? I'll just call her Ray. I can remember her real name, just not her in-game name, because there's another person with the same name and a different number. Okay, she beat Pencil Gon, who dies in game, but don't worry, she gets better. Anyway, we get to some stuff where we see some of the people who made the game who are annoyed that the main characters beat Weathermon because he wasn't actually supposed to be beaten until after some of the other ones were beaten, and we get a kind of funny argument where they end up basically almost wrestling with each other. That was funny. I like the way these characters were interacting. I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically, we get that Sunraku ultimately gets some information about world backstory. I like the part where he looks at the text and just kind of skips past it. If I remember correctly. Anyway, he gets a much higher level. He gets a bunch of cool items and such, and that's basically the episode. Oh, we do see that. Yeah, in case you were wondering, Arthur Pencilgon, the whole experience and stuff, I guess, zapped her back to low level without her equipment. So we see it kind of in the, I think it was the SLF theater section. This kind of funny bit where she basically speed runs everything and gets everything back pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then she pays her respects to an NPC who is obviously very important to everyone. Being a little sarcastic there. Yeah, can I give my rant on that whole NPC death thing? Okay, whenever you have a character in a series and there's certain weights that each character has, not physical weight, but the emotional weight of the character. And if you got a heavyweight character, that's whenever it's a character who really, really matters. And when they die, it's a big deal. But over here, we have an NPC in a video game who we never really met very much, if at all. And Pencilgon is getting all sad and trying to build up this whole thing. It's like a light flyweight, which is the lowest, which is the lightest class in boxing, the light flyweight. And that's what I consider her character to be, because it's I don't know why we're supposed to care so much about her. So that was weird. Pencilgon, though, is still my favorite character of the show, so I'm glad she didn't die in real life. What's her fate? What was the name of that girl? Sachi, SAO.
Oh.
Sachi, I think it was.
You mean the one?
Yeah.
You mean the one who had AIDS?
No, the one who died like in episode 3 or 4. She was like the first one that Kirito got close to, and she died.
Oh,
And-
yes. That was the one where then he goes to all that effort to try to find this item that can revive people, but then finds out he can only do it like 1 minute after they die.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm really surprised I can remember that. I don't, but yeah.
But yeah, that's my rant on why I feel like this NPC death didn't really do anything for me.
Well, I didn't have I can see what you're saying. It's I want to make it clear. Your issue is because we didn't know the character much, not like just it was an NPC.
But it's both. It's both.
Okay. Well, I mean, people can get pretty emotionally affected by the deaths of fictional characters, so I'm okay with that. I mean, a bunch of people like say, oh yeah, it's actually kind of emotionally hard to go through the genocide routing Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
That in case if you don't know, that's a route where in the game where you just kill everyone, including a bunch of the characters who are actually kind of likable. So, all right. So, I was gonna, right. That didn't mind me that much because I can see, okay, you can get emotionally invested in a fictional character, an NPC, but you got to point that we didn't really know that character that well. But I suppose you can say, okay, she was more affected because she at least spent more time with her, a bunch of it off screen, I think, while she figured everything out. So I'm more okay with that there. I'm okay with it because they did spend, I don't think, an enormous amount of time. It's just like, okay, she goes there, kind of pays respects, and that's it. It wasn't a very lengthy thing, so I'm okay with it. It wasn't like some series who will, have like a really long time being all sad about a character we barely knew. Like when everyone would, I'll take this over how much time we spent about everyone being super sad about the fire guy dying in Demon Slayer when they had basically spent, 15 minutes with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the arc was longer, but when you look at it objectively, the amount of actual direct interaction they had with him would have been something like 15 minutes.
I'd give him, I'd make him a welterweight. Welterweight is a little heavier than lightweight, but below middleweight. So that's where I'd put him. That's his weight class.
I recently saw this video of someone complaining about how they thought none of the various titles for the weight classes in boxing were really stupid. He's like saying, flyweight? What? That sounds like do you really want to say, oh, I'm the greatest flyweight boxer in the world? Of course not. And lightweight? That sounds like an insult.
Featherweight. Yeah. Featherweight somehow is heavier than flyweight. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I don't know why I thought of the boxing analogy today, but I was just like, this is too good not to use. So.
There's also I also had learned from that there's also, I think this is just for women, but there's an atom weight. So, yeah, that's just, some of those names are kind of a little weird, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, we got Shangri-La Frontier. So, it seems like we wrapped up everything with Weathermon. I guess we'll see what's next. I'm going to guess we're going to go back to Lycogon, the big wolf thing that Sunraku fought, because we saw him at the end, and because he's still suffering from the curse, because I think you could get like a priest or priestess to remove it or something. I don't know if that's an NPC or if that's another player, but they do mention that, but he hasn't had that done yet. So the other way is for him to be beaten to remove it. So I don't know. I'm curious. Because part of the curse was that it makes it you can't wear much armor, will that mean that when they actually beat him, he'll start wearing a shirt again? Yeah. All right. So after that, we get My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU, episode 29. So basically, Hachiman's sister gets accepted to the high school she wanted. Then they have the prom. That's the episode, basically.
Yeah, well, you know how confusing this episode was? Like, I was like, for the longest time, I thought they were just doing a rehearsal for the prom. And after a while, I was like, wait a minute, they actually are doing it now. And I was so confused. I'm like, okay. And then nothing anyone says makes sense anymore. Like, I feel like I'm living on a different planet than these characters. Like, the things they say just do not make sense. And
oh, no, wait, I think you're right. I think they were just doing promotion stuff for it. I thought they actually were doing it. I guess I misremembered it, but I'm just glancing at episode descriptions. Yeah, no, they're not doing that yet. They were just like preparing for it. But I thought they were legitimately preparing for it and were going. And okay, I you had it right. I misunderstood.
Okay, so maybe I was right. So maybe I'm not as crazy. Maybe we still live on the same planet as the characters from this show. But yeah, it was just, I feel like the things they say don't make much sense. And I don't know why that is. Like, am I stupid, or are they just kind of talking weird? I don't know. I still don't see the romance thing yet. Like, we are now into the third season and we still don't have a romantic comedy like we were promised. So, yeah, I'm disappointed about that. Like, Hachiman better hurry up with this romance thing, because we're going to run out of time before he's able to pick one. So, yeah, that's what I got from SNAFU this week.
Yeah, we got 9 episodes left. This will probably be one of those ones where the characters just they maybe do their confess love and then wham, series over. Which seems like it's something that the rom-coms do less often now. It seems like there's more that have the characters get together and then the series continues for at least for a while longer. It's well, I want to give examples, but they might be but they kind of be spoilers if I did.
I could give you an example that where they get, like, Tomo-chan is a girl, like, they don't really get together until like the final scene. So I mean, it takes all the way down to the final scene for everyone to get together. So yeah. There's this then one. Go on. Then you get like Sword Art Online, where Kirito and Asuna fall in love like 9 episodes into the show, you know?
Yes, there's. I wonder exactly how quickly, because some series actually do have the characters get together episode 1, like it's the part of the premise of the series. I'm okay with that. I don't need, but I do wonder what like the fastest time for characters to get together that wasn't right at the start of the series, I guess. So I don't know. But yeah, it does seem like we're probably just going to have them get together, and with whichever one he is, I don't know which character. I mean, based on anime experience, I think I know which one it will be, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know, maybe they go for like Broke and they go for the unexpected one, and he ends up with that with like the student council president or something.
Maybe ends up with his sister.
or with their teacher. No, their teacher.
That's even funnier.
Okay.
Okay, we are way off the reservation at this point.
Okay. But no, we're still talking about my teen romantic comedy SNAFU. We would have been way off if we had been talking about, at least we were sticking with the show. But yeah, that is an interesting thing. It's not even just the characters that haven't gotten together. It's just I'm thinking there's been very little even hints of like romance stuff. Like you look at Full Metal Panic. Are as Sosuke gotten with Kaname or Tessa? No, but but there's clearly stuff there.
Yeah.
So, okay, I legitimately wasn't intending saying that to make a transition, but then I realized that's exactly what we're talking about next.
Yeah, Full Metal Panic, Fumoffu, the final episode, and I remembered, I was like, wait a minute, this last episode is really weird. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen again? And then the whole virus thing comes up. So there's this biological weapon that Sosuke lets get out, and everyone gets infected. And then we spend half the episode of everyone panicking, thinking that they're going to die. And everyone starts making these mass things where everyone either gets scared or gets mad or runs out of the building. And then finally we find out that this virus that was supposed to kill everyone, actually, all it really is, it's the Nakari virus, the virus that makes everyone lose their clothes. And except I don't think did Erina ever lose her clothes? I don't remember, but I do know that the Nakari thing was, you make everyone lose their clothes, and that's what Sosuke did. He made everyone lose their clothes, and he gets on the phone about it, and the final scene, he says something to the effect of, well, it looks like everyone's okay, but doesn't look like I'm going to be living for much longer. And then in the credit scene, you actually hear Lucy Tristan and Chris Patton talking to each other, like, breaking the fourth wall, and then you see Sosuke having to run away from everyone again in the final scene, and that is it for Fumoffu.
Okay, so yeah, so speaking just of this episode, I kind of feel this had the issue I mentioned with a few of these sort of full episodes. Is that I'm like, okay, this is a funny idea. I feel like this would have been worked better if it had been half an episode instead of a full episode. I will give them credit though that for a virus that causes your clothes to be destroyed, it did not use it for as much fan service as I thought they would have.
Yeah.
So while I think it was a bit stretched out, there were some funny bits in this still. I do wonder though how, because it is going to be a little weird because this supposedly takes place between the first and second seasons, and I'm going to assume that after this, the next season will start out with business as usual. No one will be angry at Sosuke for this, and it'll just
actually. Are we sure when this? I can't remember, but. I can't remember if this is supposed to happen between this and the second raid or after the second raid. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see. Wikipedia tells me the series takes place between the first and the second season.
Okay. That makes sense.
Although it doesn't give a footnote next to that, so citation needed maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's at least what it tells me. So yeah, I don't. I'm just curious. Was Fumoffu actually? Because I know this Full Metal Panic was a light novel series that was adapted into anime. It was a light novel adapted into anime before it got cool to adapt light novels into anime.
Right.
It's also why its name is just Full Metal Panic rather than nowadays we would have been like called something like I was a military person who had to go to school as a student in order to protect this girl.
Yeah.
Which is what it probably would have been called today. The
case of me, a soldier, being reincarnated as a, I guess that doesn't, not as funny. Not as funny if you're not, maybe reincarnated as my schoolmate's fan. There, her Baker fan. That's about equivalent to a putter. So
yeah, I mean, there is a new show airing this season called "I Was Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince so I Could Take My Time Perfecting My Magical Ability." It's kind. That's not even
that weird either.
I know, but I'm just pointing out we are actually seeing these sort of series like names like that still in the present. I'm not really exaggerating with some of these jokey things I've been doing. I am glad for some of them they at least shorten them for the English release a bit. For example, like Shangri-La Frontiers, full name in Japanese, Shangri-La Frontier, crappy game hunter challenges god tier game. Thinking, okay, yeah, Shangri-La Frontier is just better.
Wait, is that really its full title?
In Japanese, yeah, they dropped like the subtitle thing. They do that sometimes. Ascendance of a Bookworm does kind of drop that. I'll do anything to become a librarian. Tier Moon Empire's full thing was way longer also. So yeah, when you see something that people say, oh, the light novel series all have lengthy titles. If you see an exception, check the Japanese title because sometimes they are longer. Like The Eminence in Shadow, that was slightly longer in Japanese. I Want to Be the Eminence in Shadow was the name.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so we've got okay. Now that was the case where we wandered off. Though I was just trying to figure out, was this based on one of the light novels, or was it just completely anime original? I'm not sure about that, though. Let me just see quick. Let's see. Okay, alright, so got it. So yes, it is based on something. So there was the light novels; those are the basis for the main series. But the author did write a bunch of kind of more comedic short stories involving the characters, and that was the basis of Fumoffu.
I see.
Okay, so we've got that. All right. Well, I guess that's the episode. Shall we talk about the series as a whole?
Yeah. I will go first. Look up what I rated it as. Okay, I gave it a 9. So it's one of my very favorites then, because I don't give 10s out very often. So, yeah, Fumoffu, definitely very funny. And that's all it's supposed to be funny, and it even has a little bit of romance in it. Yeah, there's some fan service, but I can overlook that. I feel like it took the characters who were in Full Metal Panic, the original, and most of them improved and got more development. I'd have to question on Tessa because she kind of acted a little different than I'd expect. But for the most part, we got more character development. Not sure what I'm going to be saying after the second raid because I do have a lower rating for that. So, but we'll see. By the way, the second raid was actually the first Full Metal Panic I ever saw.
Oh.
I saw the first 3 episodes, and I'm like, this show looks pretty cool. And then I went back and watched the original Full Metal Panic, and then I was very disappointed by the second raid. But Fumoffu really helped me like this series again. So yeah, 9 out of 10. So pretty good.
Okay. So, you want to go on to the second raid after this?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking because you said you didn't like it as much, so I was okay. We'll move on to this. Well, I don't know how much because I know the original series that had like some comedic bits, not as much as Fumoffu, but it had it. Does the second season, the second raid, do like the kind of more comedy stuff, or does it just focus on the more serious stuff entirely?
Yeah, it's a lot more serious. That's probably why I don't like it as much.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah. So my thoughts on it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. It was a little hit or miss with some episodes were really, really good and were really funny. And some episodes I thought were not so good. I found that generally speaking, the longer a plot was, the less, generally speaking, there are exceptions, usually the less I liked it. So the episodes that are like 2 episodes within it, each of them quarter of an hour, those were generally pretty solid. The full length episodes usually weren't as good, and honestly, my least favorite ones was the part where they decided to make a 2-part episode. But still, that's just generally speaking. There were some pretty solid. There were still some solid 1-episode ones, like the one where the sports one. That one was pretty funny. So yeah, this is I described it as hit or miss, but there's definitely a lot more hits than misses for this series. It was quite funny and amusing, and yeah, this is, and I will say, I'm trying to think about whether I can say someone who's never seen Full Metal Panic how much they would like it. I feel like the first few episodes, you can like just jump into this. You don't need to know anything other than the very basics. But then when it kind of does bring in some of the other characters, then at that point you're just going to be like if you don't know who Tessa is, you will be completely lost by that episode.
Yeah.
Though, so yeah, this at least some of this is open to someone else, but yeah, on the whole, it was I thought it was a pretty funny series. They did do some fun things with the characters, and yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say too much because, like I said, the problem with a hit or miss series, again, definitely more hits than misses. I want to stress that. It is the fact, well, do I want to just go through every individual episode and talk about them? I'm a little surprised we didn't have, considering the title, we didn't have more with Sosuke going around in the mascot thing. Because I think we only, how many episodes? Was it just 2? Or was there a third?
I thought there were 3, but I can't be sure.
Let's see. Bonta-kun. Let's see if I can look at the episode list quick. Let's see. Okay, so there's 1. I'm seeing 2 that were lists. There are 3, because the first was the one where they're at the park and he dresses up as it. Then there was the time when they were trying to catch the person who was
Pony.
Yeah.
Pony.
Yeah. that, and then there was one where he was training people. So yeah, okay. So I guess that was actually a decent amount in it still. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else? No, I think we're done with that. I guess the problem is it's a little hard to say too much about what's basically a silly comedy series.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how second raid goes.
Yeah.
All right. And after that, we've gotten Dark Gathering episode 7. So, in this episode, they decide to go ghost hunting more willingly on the main character's part this time, because they hear things about this tunnel being haunted. I feel like this was an episode of JoJo, but no, it's not the work of an enemy stand in this series, but rather an actual ghost, where so they manage to capture the ghost and everything's great, except then they realize, oh no, that was a decoy ghost, and the real one is actually going after Keitaru, so end up having to go into his house and come up with an excuse to get past his mother, and then they beat the ghost this time again, and yes, that was basically the episode.
Yeah, my favorite part was whenever they're coming up with the excuse to get his mother, and she buys in hook, line, and sinker, and Kay says something to the effect of like, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be, and yeah, I thought it had a good mix of horror and humor, and it was an enjoyable episode, I thought.
Okay, yeah, it was a fun one. Although it is, I am just thinking, I just want to tell Keitaru, it's never your imagination. You like think, oh, I thought there's something there. I guess it was my imagination. No, it's never your imagination in these kinds of series. I think I want that to like be a thing. There should be like a horror series where straight up it is someone's, like, just to surprise you, it actually is someone's imagination for once, and then it's just that, and then it's and then they move on, and yeah. Okay. So, yep, that's it. I don't have too much else to really say about this one. I will say I do hope that they soon start doing a little more than just, I guess, Ghost of the Week, which is getting a little repetitive at this point, even if I did overall enjoy the episode. It was kind of still fun to see them again getting in the car, and then I can't remember exactly what she says, but Yayoi's like, yay, let's go hunting, and she does it like in the same sort of tone and affect she did the previous times.
Yeah. I love Yayoi's voice. I want to know who voices her. If it's a new...
I told you already. It's Natalie Real, Monica Real's sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right.
When I look at her stuff on, Wikipedia, I mean, there might be some things missing from this, but she did do... Oh, she was wait, am I looking at the right yeah, at least, weird. I look on the Dark Gathering page on Wikipedia, and she's listed as a voice for her, but then I go to her own page and it doesn't say anything about Dark Gathering, so maybe it's one of those. So I guess someone just didn't update that. Apparently she was Kana from Oshinoko, though.
Oh, really? Wow. Good character there.
Okay, so yeah, let me just double check and try to make sure I'm getting these right. Let's see. Yeah, Okay. So is yeah, this confirms it. Yeah, I'm looking at Anime News Network. Yep, lists her in Dark Gathering. I guess on Wikipedia it just hasn't been put on her actual personal page there. So yeah,
I want to see who this Food Wars person is.
That's listed for her. Yeah, it just says Courage. Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Huh. I don't know who this is. How do I not know?
I think it's a really minor character.
Yeah, but when did she ever appear in the... Huh? Is this like in some sort of like after credits thing that we didn't see? I don't know.
I can't remember. I think she had a very small part. So I think it was just a very minor character. Kind of weird that's listed on her Wikipedia page, but not the when she voiced the second most important character of a series.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because Food War this is a more popular series, but I don't know. Okay, so yeah, that's all of those series, all of that. Then, okay, I guess we can move into our rankings for the different series we watched this week.
Okay, let me think about mine for a second here. Let's see. Okay, I am going to put SNAFU in third place. I'm going to put Shangri-La Frontier in second place. And I will put Dark Gathering in first place. Obviously, that would have gone to Fumoffu like every week pretty much. But I didn't think it would be fair to do that. So, and by the way, when we do the second raid, it's going to be the same thing. I'm still not going to rank it. But whenever we get to the fourth season eventually, I will rank that one. So, because I've never seen it before. So, those are my rules. Yep.
Is that technically is that last season technically is that technically the fourth or is it the third? Because I thought there's second raid. I guess it depends on what
it's called. Well, what's it called? Invisible Victory.
Well,
IV.
Yeah,
that's.
Well, so I was thinking. I know that. I was thinking of it as the third because of the fact that. I was thinking of it as the third because I didn't think Fumoffu counted. I guess it depends on whether you count Fumoffu or not as a season or a sort of spin-off.
Yeah, they do count it because Invisible Victory is supposed to be the IV for 4. So, yeah.
Well, then what? But that brings up the weird thing. Why do they have? If it's supposed to be IV for 4, then why is the previous season called the second raid?
Well, the second raid came out before Fumoffu. So the second raid... Am I right about that? Let me see.
I thought Fumoffu came out before second raid, but let me just double check quick. Okay, Fumoffu was out in 2003. Second raid came out in 2005. So yeah, it was original Full Metal Panic, then Fumoffu, then second raid, then Invisible Victory. So,
oh yeah, it does have it as season 3, even though, yeah, that is weird, but yeah.
Okay, so whatever season number it is, that is those seasons. I need to speaking of 3, I need to give my top 3 there.
Yeah.
All right. So, for me, I'm going to rank them. Let me just think about this quick. All right. Let's go with like this. Dark Gathering, 3rd. Shangri-La Frontier, 2nd. And, yeah, I will... It had a solid enough conclusion. Lycoris Recoil wins.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all that anime stuff we watch normally for the podcast. Anything else to talk about?
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, I went back to watching Cowboy Bebop, the live action series, and man, was this episode terrible. Episode 6. So basically, there's this woman who comes on board to help fix some repairs on the ship, and then Jet and Spike go out trying to get a bounty, and Faye's still on the boat on the ship, and Faye comes over to this woman, and within seconds they're making love with each other, and there are 2 separate sex scenes between the 2 of them, like really explicit sex scenes. And it's like, okay, first of all, Faye Valentine wasn't a lesbian in the original series, but I'll let that pass. I'll say, okay, that maybe. But she just bumps into this woman, and all of a sudden they're having sex. And then why do we cut out? We cut from a scene where Spike and Jet are trying to do something. We just cut suddenly to see the 2 of them making love and having sex. And they had it twice. It was so unnecessary. It made no sense. It was ridiculous. It was stupid. And I gotta say, Faye Valentine is definitely the worst part of this show. Not maybe because of her actress, just because of how she's written. Like, her actress probably just did what she was told to do. And this is just nuts. It is really bad. And the thing with Spike who goes into this thing where he goes through his past memories and then starts living these scenarios over and over again, it kind of felt forced and kind of felt old, kind of felt like it's been done before. And but there was a mention of Radical Edward, and that we never get to see Radical Edward, but we hear about Radical Edward. So yeah, if I were ranking this show, this episode, I give it a 1 out of 10. It's really bad, and unfortunately, there are still 4 more episodes I got to get through. Oh my! This episode was so hard to get through. There were so many times I was like, I'm just turning this off, and I'm like, I gotta watch it sometime if I want to say I watched the whole series. So, yeah, it was bad.
Well, look at it this way: you putting yourself through this means you get to complain about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It is interesting to hear all this because I never watched it.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Make sure you stay away from this thing.
We appreciate your sacrifice for doing it so we don't have to.
Again, the first episode was great. And I was thinking everyone must be wrong. I was thinking this is going to be good. And it slowly went downhill after that. And now it's completely crashed. And we still got 4 more episodes to go. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we got that. Anything else?
I watched another episode of that Banished from the Heroes Party. So I'm starting to think this is wish fulfillment because this girl with giant breasts and long blonde hair is like madly in love with the protagonist, like just totally in love with him. And it's like, why? Like, what has he done to win your love? You just have this major crush on him, and now you want to be part of his life. It's like, okay, that feels like wish fulfillment, because I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna have a real romance, you gotta have at least reasons for the romance. It can't just be, okay, I met this girl and she's now madly, madly, madly in love with me. And oh, did I tell you that she has giant breasts and long blonde hair, which is like, every otaku's dream girl pretty much. So yeah, I'm starting to not enjoy this show as much, but I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I'm sticking with it for now. We'll see where it goes from here. But I'm interested most in this Rei Ayanami character, who she has blue hair and she acts like Rei. She looks like Rei. She acts like Rei. She talks like Rei. So I'm interested to see what her role is in this show.
Yeah.
And
was that the I watched a few episodes of this series a while ago. Was that the sister of the main character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what she's got up her sleeve, because she seems to be a pretty interesting character.
Okay.
So hopefully she provides something other than just wish fulfillment, but we'll see.
Unfortunately, so many. You want to. The thing is, it used to be just you say, "Oh, the isekai is all the wish fulfillment," but no, some series they just cut out the middleman nowadays. They just have the stuff in which the character, like I say, a character has the worst power, but it turns out to be the best power. Which I don't think that's the case here, but this is actually more like a slow life, as they say, the genre. But yeah, there's definitely a bunch. This is far from what I saw of it. This is far the biggest offender in that sort of thing. at least the main character hasn't gotten infinity stats or something yet.
Yeah,
which is sometimes what you actually see. Okay, so yes, unfortunately you said all that, and I don't really have too much to say. I feel like maybe I had something. No, unfortunately, I've been busy with some other things, and I haven't had a chance to really watch too much of other things. There's like a few series I want to I want to get back and finish this so I can maybe say something about it, but I'm not there yet. So, okay. All right. I think that's everything then.
Are we going to talk about The Amazing Race?
Yeah, well, I meant like everything related to anime and such.
Okay,
so,
yeah. I also just want to throw in that I made it through chapter 13 or 14 of the Oshinoko manga, so I'm quickly catching up to I'm still like in episode 2 of the anime, but
sorry.
Oh, I just love this manga. I love it. So, yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, you're only in the second episode because the first episode was so long and adapted, I think 9 chapters or something.
Yeah. Yep, 9 chapters.
I think it adapted the whole first volume at least. So yeah,
I'm starting to see spoilers, so I'm like, I got to get through this quick before I get spoiled, because I'm part of OC No Co Facebook groups, which probably is a bad idea, but
yeah. Okay, so that's all of that, and yeah, I guess I'll just put in a plug. If you want to read all the episodes of chapters of Oshinoko, you can do it, and do it legally too on Manga Plus. So just gonna specify that, and it's free with an asterisk. You can only read each chapter once for free, but even if you subscribe, it's only like $2 a month to read all the chapters of an in-progress manga. It is their subscription is a little weird because there's that $2 you can read all the chapters and many times you want of an in-progress manga, but not one that's concluded. For that, you need to get the higher $5 per month, which ironically means that you can read, say, the entirety of One Piece for as many times as you want for a $2 month. But if you want to read like some short, like 8-chapter series, yeah, you're going to have to pay $5. So that's a little weird. But hey, I mean, still fairly low prices. Anyway, that's it for anime/manga. I guess we can then, if we had anything to say about the Amazing Race episode, I feel like I have way less to say this season about things than I did last season.
yeah, I think that's because the teams just aren't that interesting. Like last season had so many cool teams, and like the winning team was great, the runner-up was great, the third place, fourth place. They had so many good teams, and this season they're just so boring. And my favorite team got eliminated in this episode. They were the last one I had any attachment to, so now I feel like I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the season. I feel like the first place teams are getting too big a head start, and it's making these into blowouts where they finish before the other teams are even getting to their detour. So yeah, this has been a bad season in my opinion. Granted, I've not seen that many. My mom has. During COVID, she went and back and watched the entirety of The Amazing Race.
Oh,
and
all of it? Wow.
Yeah. So so she now knows everything about everything in The Amazing Race. I've only been watching for about 6 or 7 seasons now, so I'm behind. But
she's seen a lot more than I have. Then I think I only started watching the show in the 3rd season, and then or was it the 4th? I can't remember. It was what was the one? I think the first one I saw was the first one that had Colin and Christy. They came back like, much later season. The first one you watched actually, I think, and won that.
Right.
But I can't remember. I think it was the 3rd or 4th. Let me just check. Colin and Christy, got to be something on The Amazing. What season was it? Amazing Race 5. Okay, I thought it was earlier than that. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. I thought it was a. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that was the first one. Okay, I saw. Anyway, and I only came in towards the end. Anyway, so yeah, then she saw a lot more than I did. I don't know. Did she say what her favorite season was? I'm curious if it's one that I saw.
She hasn't told me her favorite season, but she did like the one Mike White was on. You remember Mike White? Mike White was also on Survivor.
I don't know if I saw that season. Let me just, I gotta do a quick search on that. Let's see. Oh, he was on 2 seasons. He was on the 14th and a later one. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I saw that season, but I could be wrong. Some of them kind of blur together. Yeah, it was interesting, some of the earlier things. There's like some weird stuff like, okay, if you survive a non-elimination leg, it means that you don't get any money for the next leg. So the beams had to just go around begging people for money. Like literally, that's what they would do. They would go, hey, we're in a race, can you give us some money please? And it was kind of dumb, and they got rid of it after a few. I am so very sorry about that. That was my alarm. I apologize. So yes, that actually it does mean that I'll have to wrap up because I have to do something soon. But anyway,
Okay.
not like immediately, just soonish. Anyway,
Yeah.
now I lost track of what I was saying.
They had to beg for money.
Yeah, there's that, and they got rid of that eventually, and I was like, okay, that was nice because that was kind of dumb. Anyway, the other weird thing about the season, and I didn't notice it until you pointed out to me, but now it's just, everything is Spanish speaking. Everything so far in this season. So you mentioned it. Yeah, of course, the Spanish speaking team has gotten first or second place in every leg so far.
Yeah, and it's not fair. It really isn't fair.
I'm legitimately wondering what's going on because it's all South America stuff, and I'm just thinking, okay, maybe you just have to be in South America for some reason. Maybe it was a code thing, but not every country in South America speaks Spanish. Brazil is a big country. There's Portuguese there. That would at least be something different, even though Portuguese admittedly is written Portuguese is pretty similar to Spanish. I think it sounds more different when it's actually spoken, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and it looks like the next leg, yeah, they're still going to be in Spanish-speaking South America because they're going to Argentina.
Yeah.
So, and then to Uruguay. Everything in South America. Why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to guess it had to be some sort of like something that just required them to stay in South America for some reason. But I can't imagine there couldn't be other places they could go to. Maybe they'll go to Brazil. I don't know. But yeah, that's a whole lot of Spanish speaking places.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's our thoughts on that episode. I don't know if anyone was actually interested in it because they're probably here for the anime, but we had our discussion, and I think that's it. We will be back next week for our usual lineup, except we are replacing Full Metal Panic Fumoffu with Full Metal Panic the Second Raid. So we'll see how that turns out. And that'll be it for the podcast now. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Everybody is really loving our new show, Ninja Kamui.
Yep, it kicks some serious ass.
Now Rainmaker Productions, Greb Studios, and Cryware
Are giving you a chance to delve deeper into the world of Ninja Kamui.
with Shinobi Origins.
You play as a shadow named Tsukumo as you shoot and slash your way through hordes of henchmen and deadly ninjas.
It's a 2D side-scroller with a bit of a Rolling Thunder vibe.
Man, Rolling Thunder is a classic. This game's gonna be interesting.
It's full of power-ups, insane ninja moves, and epic boss battles.
And once your boost meter is full, you can suit up and unleash hell on anyone foolish enough to resist. I don't know about you, Sarah, but I'm itching to get my hands on this one.
Same here, Tom. It looks like it could be pretty fun for Kamui fans.
Ninja Kamui Shinobi Origins is for the Nintendo Switch.
Available for pre-order now.
The Drunken Master is back. When the world needs a hero, he's ready to kick some.
Bam and bam, bam! Oh, you wouldn't hit a guy wearing dresses, would you?
Jackie Chan Adventures coming up next.
Goodbye, thank you.
Only Toonami.